You know that conversation you keep replaying in your head? The one that makes you kind of cringe and just wonder, ugh, did I say the right thing?
Oh, yeah. Or that big decision you just can't seem to land on.
Totally, just trapped in that endless loop of pros and cons.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe it's that brilliant idea you had, but you never even started because you're still trying to map out every single what if scenario.
Right. Every possible roadblock before you even take step one.
If you're anything like us, you know exactly what we're talking about. It's that constant hum of overthinking, like a mental soundtrack you just can't turn off.
It really can feel like that, can it?
So let's unpack this for a second. If you are really honest with yourself right now, how many hours do you think you spent just overthinking this past week alone?
That's a confronting question.
It is. And what did it cost you? Lost sleep, maybe missed opportunities. Or just feeling completely drained, even when you haven't really done anything.
That exhaustion is so real. And yeah, that question is powerful, isn't it? For a lot of us, the answer can be pretty high, maybe even disturbingly high.
Yeah.
And basically, overthinking, it means dwelling too much on certain thoughts
Yeah.
or constantly playing out a situation and all its possible outcomes in your head.
Usually the bad ones, right?
Often,
Yeah.
yeah, catastrophizing. And look, some worry is normal. It's human. It helps us plan, solve problems even.
Sure, a bit of planning is good.
But the trouble starts, like you said, when it just takes over,
Hmm.
when it's excessive. And when that mental chatter goes unchecked, it really can take a big toll on your well-being.
It's not just feeling stressed then.
No, not at all. We're talking about potentially increasing the risk for serious mental health stuff like uh, generalized anxiety disorders, maybe OCD tendencies, even clinical depression. It's this exhausting cycle that just feeds itself, and you feel completely trapped, like your own mind is a cage.
Right. That feeling of being trapped, that's exactly what we want to tackle today, because it doesn't have to be like that forever. So today, we're doing a deep dive into some simple, but actually really powerful, actionable hacks. Things you can do to break free from that cycle.
Mm-hmm. Practical stuff.
Yeah, strategies to help reduce worry, find more calm, more clarity in your day-to-day. Think of this as like your shortcut to less internal noise and more peace.
A way to reclaim your mind, basically.
Exactly. Reclaim your mind and actually live in the present moment. We've pulled together insights from, psychological studies, behavioral research, expert analysis.
Lots of good stuff.
Yeah, to give you a really practical guide to navigating this whole overthinking thing. Okay, so let's get right into it. What our sources show as a really surprising kind of counterintuitive reason why we overthink this bit. It really got me thinking.
Okay.
What if I told you that all that relentless thinking that's spinning in your head, it's actually your brain trying to protect you from something else entirely?
Ah, the underfeeling concept.
Exactly. It sounds weird, right? Because overthinking feels so destructive, but there's this deeper thing going on.
That's precisely it. It's a really profound idea our research kept pointing to. Overthinking is often essentially underfeeling.
Okay, break that down. What does underfeeling mean?
It means your brain, being clever but maybe not helpful in the long run, builds this complex mental maze, this distraction, to stop you from feeling emotions you don't want to feel.
Like what kind of emotion?
Oh, it could be anything, really. That icy fear of failing, maybe? Or that nagging self-doubt, guilt, even anger you haven't dealt with,
Yeah.
or just feeling vulnerable.
Mm-hmm.
So instead of letting yourself feel those raw, uncomfortable things, your brain goes, nope, let's think instead. And it kicks off this endless loop of thoughts.
It's a distraction.
Exactly. A continuous internal chat designed specifically to keep you away from the actual feeling. It's a defense mechanism, just maybe not the best one. Think about it this way. It often feels easier to mentally pick apart every single thing that could go wrong with a project
Oh, yeah. Endless planning.
than it is to just sit with that raw, maybe paralyzing fear of actually failing if you put yourself out there.
Right.
Or, analyzing every tiny detail of a social situation, replaying it, predicting reactions.
I've been there.
It feels safer than facing the vulnerability of not knowing what people think or just accepting that uncertainty.
So the thinking blocks the feeling.
Precisely.
Mm-hmm.
The more you overthink, the less you let yourself feel. And paradoxically, the more you avoid the feelings, the more stuck you get in the thinking loop. It's like a mental treadmill going nowhere fast.
Wow, that makes almost painful sense. It's like your brain's trying to be kind, saying, hey, let's just spin these thoughts instead of feeling that awful thing.
Pretty much, yeah, in a misguided way.
So for you listening, the next time you feel yourself spiraling, that familiar rush of overthinking endless thoughts, just pause.
Take a breath.
Yeah, take a breath. And ask yourself some really powerful questions. What am I really not letting myself feel right now? Why am I avoiding this specific emotion? And honestly, what's the absolute worst thing that could happen if I just felt it, just for a moment?
Without judgment.
Exactly. Our sources really emphasize this. Emotions, when you actually allow yourself to feel them fully like a wave, not a wall,
Right, letting it wash over you.
they start to lose their power. Their grip loosens. And when that intensity fades, guess what? Your thoughts calm down.
The spiral stuff.
The spiral stops. And suddenly, there's clarity. It's this huge shift that comes from facing what you were working so hard to avoid.
And understanding that underfeeling piece leads us straight into the specific behaviors that keep us stuck in that overthinking cycle.
Ah, okay. So it's not just the thoughts, it's things we do.
Exactly. Our sources map out what they call the worry cycle and the common things we do that fuel it. These aren't just random anxious habits. They're specific strategies our anxious minds use to try and get control over uncertainty.
But they backfire.
Totally backfire. They actually dig the rut deeper, creating this self-feeding loop. These are the things we do, often without even realizing it, that keep us on that mental hamster wheel.
Okay, so what are these key anxious behaviors? Let's name them. How do we spot them in ourselves?
Right. Our deep dive flagged 4 really critical ones. The first is rumination.
Rumination, okay.
This is where you excessively review or analyze past events or future worries, usually negatively.
Like replaying that awkward conversation over and over.
Exactly. Not just thinking about it once, but like 30 times. Picking apart every word, every look, imagining different outcomes, second-guessing everything.
Exhausting.
Or if you have a presentation coming up, it's endlessly cycling through worst-case scenarios, every possible tough question, every way you might mess up. It's a loop that gives no new answers, just more anxiety. Then the second one is seeking reassurance.
Asking people if everything's okay.
Constantly asking if you made a mistake, if there's going to be a problem, if they're mad at you, sending that important email and immediately asking a coworker, did that sound okay? Was that too harsh? Think they'll be upset?
Guilty. Definitely done that.
Or texting a friend after a party. Was I weird? Did I talk too much? It's trying to squash uncertainty with outside validation, but the relief, it never lasts.
Right, because the doubt just comes back.
Exactly. The cycle starts again. Third component, avoidance.
Okay, this sounds straightforward. Just avoiding stuff that makes you anxious.
Yep. Actively, sometimes, without even realizing it. Steering clear of places, people, situations you think will trigger your anxiety.
Yeah.
Worried about social awkwardness, you start saying no to invites. That work task triggers self-doubt. It keeps getting pushed down the to-do list.
Procrastination, basically.
It can look like that. And while avoiding gives you that immediate moment,
Yeah.
long-term, it's costly. It shrinks your world, limits experiences, and actually reinforces the belief that the thing you're avoiding is dangerous or too hard, makes the anxiety worse.
Yeah.
And the last one is checking.
Checking, like double checking your work.
Excessively, like excessively researching things online for answers, redoing tasks over and over to be absolutely sure they're perfect, looking for mistakes that probably aren't even there.
Okay, give me an example.
Sending that email again. Checking isn't just proofreading once. It's hitting refresh on your sent folder every minute, wondering if you made a typo. Rereading the report 5 times after you submitted it.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Or endlessly Googling symptoms for a minor health worry. These 4 things, rumination, reassurance seeking, avoidance, checking the door, they feel like they're helping, but they actually lock in the overthinking pattern. They feed the anxiety they're trying to fix.
That is so relatable. And yeah, kind of chilling when you spell it out like that. I think everyone listening can probably see themselves in at least one of those loops.
Most likely.
That classic rumination, replaying that party conversation, dissecting every little thing, it's torture. Or the checking, sending that sensitive email, and then just living in your inbox, checking, rereading. It's not just the thoughts. It's these actions that really drain you and keep the cycle going.
Absolutely. And that leads us to maybe the most striking point from our sources.
Yeah.
Something that really makes you stop and think about where the distress actually comes from. It's how disproportionate the harm from all this internal noise really is. One source, a solid piece of psychological research, put it this way, and it's profound. The problem is rarely the problem. 99% of the harm is caused in your head, by you and your thoughts. Only 1% of the harm is caused by the reality, what actually happens, and the outcome.
Wow. 99%. That's huge. But it kind of rings true, doesn't it? We really are often our own worst enemies, creating these massive mental dramas that dwarf the actual event.
Exactly. It points to a fundamental truth. Our thoughts create these elaborate scenarios, and they aren't objective reality. They're projections of our deepest insecurities, our fears, our worries.
We imagine the
We
worst.
imagine the worst, we blow minor things way out of proportion, we project anxiety onto situations that might actually be fine,
Mm,
and that constant internal chatter, that self-generated noise,
yeah.
that becomes the main source of our suffering, not the external thing itself.
So it's the internal reaction, not the external event.
Often, yes. Think of it like having a fire alarm constantly blaring in your head, day in, day out, even when there's no fire.
Right.
The alarm itself, the constant noise, the tension it creates, that becomes the most disruptive, most harmful thing,
Mm.
way more than any actual danger that might or might not even be there. Our minds can be powerful, sometimes pretty destructive theaters. The problem isn't the problem, it's how you think about the problem.
That alarm bell analogy is spot on. It really captures how our minds become these battlegrounds, mostly due to our own internal dialogue. So, okay, knowing that, when your mind is overactive, trapped in that loop, rumination, checking, all of it, what can we actually do? One of the most effective and maybe surprising solutions that kept coming up. Just move your body.
Get physical.
Yeah. It
Yeah,
sounds
yeah.
almost too simple, doesn't it? Like, how is going for a walk going to fix my career anxiety? But the mind-body connection is real, it's scientific.
It's absolutely fundamental for breaking that mental loop. Movement literally disrupts the cycle of repetitive thoughts. It shifts your focus outward, pulls you away from that internal echo chamber, grounds you in your physical self.
How does it work, like biologically?
Well, when you move, your brain releases endorphins, natural mood boosters. But more than that, it shifts brain activity. It pulls energy away from the prefrontal cortex areas often involved in rumination.
The worry center.
Sort of, yeah. And engages other parts involved in sensory input and motor control. Think about it. Ever notice your best ideas pop up when you're out for a walk or running or even just, doing chores?
Totally. Happens all the time.
That's not random. Physical activity gives your conscious worrying mind a break, creates space for new perspectives, for solutions to bubble up. But here's the really crucial bit our sources stress. The movement needs to be intentional, not just scrolling your phone on the elliptical. Right?
Yeah, okay. Not multitasking.
Exactly. Be careful, it's not just mindless multitasking. You need to really take the time, get fresh air, be in nature if you can, or just do something that gets you away from screens and devices.
Yeah.
You need to let your mind actually switch off from the worrying.
So be present in the movement.
Yes, and the paradox is amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Once you stop forcing yourself to think about the problem, once you give your mind that breakthrough movement, the answers, or at least a sense of calm, they often just arrive on their own, effortlessly.
Create the space for it.
You got it. It's about creating that mental and physical space for insights. So yeah, brisk walk, dancing like nobody's watching, some focused yoga. Let your body lead you out of your head.
I can definitely vouch for that. A walk, music and dancing, yoga. It just kind of shakes the thoughts loose sometimes. And that idea you mentioned, clarity comes from doing,
Yeah.
it applies here too. Just the act of moving is doing something. It can kickstart that shift. And it's not just a mental thing, is it? Overthinking feels physical. Your body tenses up, breathing gets shallow. You're stuck in that fight or flight mode.
Oh, absolutely. You feel it in your shoulders, your jaw, your gut.
Yeah, it's a whole body thing. It reinforces the mental loop.
It totally does. And that intense physical reaction is exactly why deep, intentional breathing is such a core, immediate strategy. It's a direct line to calming your nervous system down fast.
Like the 4-7-8 breath.
That's a great example highlighted in our research, yeah. Popularized by Dr. Andrew Weil. You breathe in for 4 seconds, hold for 7, and then breathe out slowly for 8.
Okay, in for 4, hold 7, out for 8.
Repeat it maybe 4 times. The effects can be almost instant.
What's the science there? Why does that work so well?
It's fascinating. By making the exhale longer than the inhale, you're directly stimulating your parasympathetic nervous system.
The rest and digest system.
Exactly the opposite of fight or flight.
Yeah.
You're basically sending a signal via the vagus nerve, telling your body, calm down, slow down, relax.
So it's a physiological command.
It really is. It lowers your heart rate, eases muscle tension, can even lower blood pressure. It's not just a mental trick. It's changing your body's state. And it forces your brain to focus on the present, on the feeling of breathing, pulling it away from the worry spiral. It creates that crucial pause before you react impulsively.
A mental reset button.
Pretty much. As one source put it beautifully, the best way to slow down your thoughts isn't by thinking less. It's by breathing more. Use your body to calm your mind.
That's brilliant. Breathe more, don't just think less. It sounds almost too simple again, right? But sometimes another really effective way to stop that loop is just get it out of your head, onto paper.
Externalize it, yes.
The act of writing it down can feel so liberating, like downloading a huge, messy file from your brain.
It's a really powerful practice. Simple journaling, or like our sources called it, just dumping it all out onto paper.
Just writing everything down, no filter.
Yep. Every worry, every half-baked idea, every anxious thought. Don't worry about making sense or perfect grammar. Just let it flow. The page holds the chaos.
Okay, so you dump it all out. Then what?
Then comes the crucial step that turns venting into strategy. You take a pen, physically, and cross out everything on that list you cannot control.
What kind of things?
The what-ifs about the future you can't predict, other people's actions or reactions, things that are just out of your hands.
Got it. Cross out the uncontrollable.
Then, look at what's left. The list of things you can control, things you can actually do something about.
Ah, okay, so it separates the noise from the actionable stuff.
Exactly. It creates this clear visual difference between unproductive worry and productive possibility. And again, clarity doesn't come from just sitting and thinking endlessly. It comes from doing, even if the doing is just writing and sorting your thoughts. It stops the rumination by moving you from abstract panic to concrete things you can maybe tackle. You dive into the controllable bits.
Okay, I can totally see how that would bring relief. Like, if you're overwhelmed by a big project,
Yep.
you write down, what if I'm not good enough? What if I miss the deadline? What if the client hates it? What if I can't find resources? What if I get stuck?
Right, all the fears.
Then you take your pen, cross out, what if I'm not good enough? Cross out, what if the client hates it? Those are future fears, out of your control right now. And what's left? Actionable things. Research resources, break project into smaller tasks, schedule work blocks, set one small daily goal. You move from what if to what can, instantly empowering. So we've got these great immediate hacks, movement, breath, writing, physical things, external things. Now let's shift gears a bit, go deeper into perspective and mindset, because our thoughts, like we said, are persuasive little storytellers in our heads, often echoing our worst fears. But are they actually true?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
Yeah, it's time to become like a detective for your own mind. Start fact-checking those thoughts.
This is such a crucial step, really transformative. Our sources talk about automatic negative thoughts, ANT.
ANTs, like little pests in your brain.
Kinda. They're those knee-jerk negative thoughts, fear, self-criticism, anger that just pop up uninvited. They feel totally real, totally convincing.
But they're often distorted.
Very awesome. They're cognitive distortions, not objective facts. So a practical way to tackle them is to use a notebook. Note down the situation causing distress, then write down the very first thought that pops into your head, the ANT.
Okay, capture the ANT.
Then dig deeper. Why is this situation triggering this thought? What underlying belief is getting poked? Are you catastrophizing, doing that all or nothing thing?
Right, identifying the pattern.
Yeah. And label the emotion: anxiety, sadness, anger, shame. What's the story you're telling yourself? And then this is the key part. Consciously find an alternative thought, a more balanced, realistic one.
Okay, so replacing the ANT.
Not replacing so much as challenging and reframing. So instead of this is a disaster, I'm useless, you consciously shift to, okay, I'm trying my best here. There might be challenges, but I can learn from them. This is a chance to grow.
It's not fake positivity, then.
Not at all. It's about challenging unhelpful stories and building a more balanced internal dialogue based on evidence, not just fear.
That's really powerful.
Yep.
Realizing that first thought isn't always the right thought, and you can challenge it. And sometimes we get so zoomed in on the immediate worry, right? We lose the bigger picture entirely.
Yeah, tunnel vision.
Yeah. Like, what's the real impact of this thing I'm stressing about in 5 years or 10 years? Does it actually matter that much in the grand scheme?
That perspective shift is huge, especially for those, non-urgent worries that suck up so much mental energy. It forces you to ask, how much will this really affect me down the line?
It puts things in proportion.
Exactly. The goal isn't to dismiss your feelings now, but to get clarity, to prioritize the genuinely big stuff and practice letting go of the everyday hurdles that honestly won't matter later.
So how do you do that practically?
We'll jot down those swirling thoughts again, then investigate them. Ask, what actual proof do I have for this fear? Or is there someone else who could help with this non-urgent part or offer a different viewpoint? It helps you see that a lot of what we agonize over is temporary or manageable with help. Frees up mental space.
It's a great reality check. Like worrying about misspeaking at that networking event a year from now. Will anyone even remember? Probably not. It shifts focus from the intense, immediate feeling to the broader, often less dramatic reality.
Precisely.
Now, overthinking loves uncertainty, right? All those what ifs about failure. But what if we flip that? Used our imagination, which fuels worry, as a tool for progress instead.
Yes, using visualization as fuel. Instead of letting your imagination run wild with disastrous scenarios,
Which it loves to do.
you deliberately steer it towards the positive outcomes you want.
How does that work? Like, practically.
It's simple, but powerful. Close your eyes. Vividly imagine yourself, say, 6 months from now. Imagine you took that scary action you've been overthinking, and it worked out great,
Mm.
better than you hoped.
Okay.
What does that successful version of you look like? What do they do? And crucially, how do they feel? Confident, relieved, proud.
Why does imagining it help?
Because your brain, amazingly, doesn't always clearly distinguish between a vividly imagined experience and a real one.
Seriously?
Yeah. It's why elite athletes use visualization constantly. They're training their brains for success, creating neural pathways as if they've already won. By visualizing success, you start rewiring your response to uncertainty. The action feels less scary, more familiar, more achievable. You're basically paving the road to success in your mind first. Reduces that fear of the unknown.
That's such an empowering shift, turning the imagination from a worry machine into a success tool. Okay, here's a big one. Maybe the hardest for overthinkers, but maybe the most freeing. No amount of anxiety will change your future, and no amount of anxiety will change your past. Peace is found in acceptance.
Oof, that one hits hard, doesn't it?
It really does. Cuts right through all the mental gymnastics.
Because it gets to the core of the struggle. Peace really is found in acceptance. Acceptance of imperfection, you don't have to be perfect. Acceptance of uncertainty, you can't control everything. Acceptance of the uncontrollable, some things are just how they are.
It's not giving up, though.
Not at all. It's about smartly freeing up all that energy you were spending fighting reality, redirecting it. And our sources strongly emphasize practicing self-compassion alongside acceptance, especially when you're beating yourself up over past mistakes.
Being kind to yourself, basically.
Yes. When that stressful thought hits and you feel that pang of anxiety or self-criticism, notice it. Then pay attention to how it feels in your body, tightness, heat, whatever. Acknowledge the feeling is real for you right now without judging it or trying to shove it away.
Just let it be there.
Let it be there. And then gently offer yourself a compassionate phrase, something that resonates, like, may I accept myself as I am, or maybe just, this is hard right now, or I am enough.
Saying it to yourself.
Silently or out loud. This gentle, accepting approach, embracing the difficult thoughts and feelings instead of fighting them. Research shows it significantly improves psychological health, builds resilience. It encourages you to slowly, gently face situations you worry about, building your capacity for acceptance bit by bit. It's about befriending yourself, not battling yourself.
Befriending yourself. I like that. Not battling. Okay, so we've covered immediate hacks, mindset shifts. What about the long game? Building sustainable calm. How do we make this last?
Right. Moving beyond quick fixes.
Developing a consistent practice of mindfulness seems key here. Really grounding yourself in the present, building that mental immune system, maybe.
That's a great way to put it. Mindfulness is essentially training your attention, focusing on being intensely aware of what you're sensing and feeling right now in this moment without judging it.
Just noticing.
Just noticing. Thoughts, sensations, emotions. Letting them come and go without getting swept away by their stories. It directly counters that habit of constantly being lost in planning, worrying, daydreaming, or just random negative thoughts. Instead of being pulled into past regrets or future anxieties, it anchors you right here, right now.
And this isn't just wishful thinking, right? There's science behind it.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
A huge and growing body of evidence. Consistent mindfulness practice is shown to reduce stress, anxiety, pain, depression symptoms, insomnia.
Wow.
But it goes deeper. It actually changes the brain. It can shrink the amygdala, the fear center, making it less reactive.
Right.
And it strengthens connections to the prefrontal cortex, your executive function hub, for decision-making, attention, emotional regulation.
So it physically rewires your brain for calm.
In a sense, yes. It makes your brain more resilient to overthinking and reactivity. That's why we see improvements in focus, less job burnout, better sleep. Your brain's default worry network literally calms down. It's powerful. And getting started doesn't have to be complicated. Simple things work, like really paying attention with all your senses. When you eat something you love, actually smell it, taste it, feel the texture, enjoy it fully.
Being present with simple things.
Exactly. living in the moment more often, bringing open, accepting attention to everyday stuff, accepting yourself too, treating yourself with the same kindness you'd give a good friend. And the foundation, just focusing on your breathing. Even 1 minute of focused breathing can bring you back to center.
Little mindful moments throughout the day.
Yes. And if you want to go deeper, there are structured practices like body scans, sitting meditation, walking meditation. The key, our sources suggest, is consistency. Aim for practicing daily for maybe 6 months. After that, it often becomes more effortless, just part of how you are, a commitment to nurturing yourself.
That idea of it becoming effortless is really appealing. Not another chore, but just self-care.
Yeah.
But let's be real, our devices today, they're like silent partners in crime for overthinking, right?
Correct.
Constantly grabbing our attention, pulling us out of the present.
They absolutely are. Silent architects of anxiety sometimes.
Yeah.
The research is clear. Too much screen time hits our mental health, physical health, relationships, everything.
It's crazy how much time we spend on them.
It is. Like,
Yeah.
in Australia, the average can be 4 hours of spare time a day on screens. That's like 25% of your waking hours. All those notifications, the social media comparison game, the dopamine hits, it fuels stress, anxiety, overwhelm, that feeling of constant distraction.
So a digital detox could be really helpful.
Hugely helpful, often surprisingly transformative. Gives your mind a real rest from constant input. Leads to better focus, better productivity, feeling more connected to the real world, rediscovering offline hobbies, and crucially, better sleep, which, as we know, is foundational.
Okay, but how do you do a digital detox? Saying, put down your phone is easy, but those habits are sticky. Where do you start?
Good question. The sources give a clear roadmap. Step 1. Honest self-assessment. Ask yourself, how much time am I really spending? How does it actually make me feel energized or drained? Stressed, guilty, inadequate?
Get real about the impact.
Are there specific problems linked to my tech use? Sleep issues, missing out on time with people. And the big one, are my tech habits aligned with my actual values and priorities?
Okay, so clarity first, then what?
Then set specific, achievable goals. Not necessarily quitting cold turkey unless you want to, but targeting problem areas. Yep. Like no devices for 1 hour before bed for the next month.
And have a plan for that hour.
Yes. Make tea, phone charges in kitchen, read a physical book, or maybe phone stays on silent in my pocket when I'm talking to someone, or limit social media to X hours a day. Start with 1-2 weeks, maybe a month for deeper habits.
Makes sense. But those apps are designed to hook us. How do you resist falling back into old patterns?
Right, you need strategies to bypass the addictive design. Our sources have a great toolkit. First, turn off non-essential notifications. Those pings are focus killers.
Definitely.
Maybe log out of or uninstall social media apps during the detox. Move addictive apps off your home screen. Make them harder to mindlessly open. Track your screen time and set app limits using built-in phone features. Use blocker apps or extensions for websites during work hours.
Okay, practical tech tweaks. What about behavioral stuff?
Find a digital detox buddy for accountability. Maybe even set each other's app passwords. Try turning your phone screen to grayscale. It makes it way less appealing.
Interesting.
Practice leaving your phone at home sometimes or in another room when you need to focus or connect. Make your bedroom a phone-free zone. Get an old-school alarm clock. And use the 20-20-20 rule for screen breaks. Every 20 minutes, look 20 feet away for 20 seconds.
Great tips.
And after the detox, reflect. What worked, what didn't. Then implement sustainable changes. A nightly device curfew, cutting down social media platforms. It's about awareness. Then proactive changes to reclaim your attention.
Brilliant. Taking back control. You know, that saying, health starts in your mind. It's definitely a two-way street. What we do for our bodies massively impacts our mental state, our ability to handle overthinking. It's all connected.
Totally interconnected, an ecosystem, like you said. And our sources really hammer home these holistic health practices as foundational for managing stress and overthinking. Physical activity is huge. Regular exercise, even just moderate aerobic activity a couple of times a week, significantly cuts perceived stress. The standard advice is around 150 minutes moderate intensity exercise a week, plus strength training twice a week.
It's mental resilience, not just fitness.
Exactly. Then, balanced diet. There's a strong link between diets high in ultra-processed foods, added sugars, and higher stress levels. Plus, stress makes you crave those foods.
It's a cycle.
Right. So, minimize processed stuff, eat more whole foods, veggies, fruits, beans, fish, nuts, seeds, and pay attention to nutrients like magnesium, B vitamins. They're crucial for stress response and mood.
Good point. What else?
Reduce caffeine. Too much over 400 milligrams a day. Maybe 4 or 5 coffees can worsen stress, anxiety, mess with sleep. which fuels overthinking.
Ah, a sleep connection again.
Always. Consistent, restful sleep is the absolute bedrock. Prioritize it. Consistent schedule, cool, dark room, wind-down routine, non-negotiable for a calm mind. And finally, self-care. Not an indulgence, a necessity. Doesn't have to be fancy. A walk outside, a bath, candles, a good book, a hobby, just quiet time. These are daily investments that buffer your mind against overthinking.
It's a whole body approach, making sure our bodies support our minds. And speaking of support, when you're stuck in that overthinking loop, it feels so isolating, you just want to pull inwards. But connection, human connection and clear boundaries, they can be incredibly grounding, protective.
Absolutely critical. The research consistently links lower social support with higher stress, so actively spending quality time with loved ones, nurturing those bonds, it's vital for mental health.
And if your immediate circle isn't enough,
Then branch out, join a club, a team, volunteer for something you care about, community activities. Building diverse connections is a powerful buffer. And equally important, especially for overthinkers who might people please. Boundaries. Learning to be selective, to say no kindly but firmly to things that overload you, that dramatically cut stress.
setting limits?
Yes,
Yeah.
clear, respectful boundaries, especially with people who drain you, it's healthy self-protection. Asking someone not to drop by unannounced, taking a rain check if you're overwhelmed. Simple things. And interestingly, another powerful connector that pulls you out of your head. Doing for others.
Helping people.
Yeah. Even small acts of kindness. It shifts your focus outward, disrupts the worry stream. Realizing you can make someone's day better gives you purpose, keeps negativity at bay. It's a beautiful feedback loop.
That's lovely. Connection, boundaries, even helping others, pulling you out of yourself. Now, sometimes that overthinking loop feels like a stand-in for actually doing something right. We think we're preparing, analyzing, but really we're just procrastinating, causing more stress than just starting would have. Oh, definitely. Procrastination and stress are tightly linked. It negatively impacts health, sleep. It can even become a coping mechanism for stress, ironically creating more of it. And again, that core insight. Clarity comes from doing, not just endless thinking.
So how do we break that procrastination cycle fueled by overthinking?
The strategy is straightforward. Make a concrete, prioritized to-do list. Give yourself realistic deadlines. And then work your way down, focusing on priorities.
Break it down.
Yeah, break big tasks into smaller steps. Sometimes just writing the task down, getting it out of your head and onto the list provides relief, even if you don't do it immediately. The goal is grounding those swirling worries into manageable actions, turning mental chaos into a productive plan.
Makes total sense. Break it down, write it down, just start. Take that first small step.
Okay, we've covered so many amazing hacks and strategies, but it's really important to say these are powerful tools, but sometimes we need more, right? We're not alone, and some challenges need professional guidance.
Absolutely, center point. Cannot stress this enough. Everything we've talked about. Super helpful for managing daily stress, mild anxiety, common overthinking, but it is not a substitute for professional mental health treatment.
When should someone consider getting that extra help?
If you feel persistently overwhelmed by your thoughts, if you just can't stop overthinking no matter what you try, or if it's seriously impacting your daily life, your work, relationships, sleep, please consider talking to a professional, a therapist, counselor, psychiatrist.
They can offer more tailored support.
Exactly. Proper diagnosis if needed, personalized coping skills, specific therapies, like acceptance and commitment therapy. ACT is one example. It helps you handle difficult thoughts and emotions not by getting rid of them, but by accepting them and committing to actions aligned with your values.
Accepting the feelings are there, but not letting them stop you?
Precisely. Building psychological flexibility. Living your life guided by what matters to you, even with the discomfort. Professional help provides that safe, structured space to navigate these deeper challenges. It's a sign of strength to ask for it.
Wow. Okay, that was a serious deep dive into reclaiming your mind. We covered so much ground. From understanding that surprising root of overthinking as underfeeling.
Avoiding those tough emotions.
Right. To those immediate resets, moving your body, using your breath, getting thoughts out onto paper.
And those powerful perspective shifts, too. Fact-checking the ANTs, zooming out to the bigger picture.
Embracing acceptance, self-compassion, visualizing success.
Yeah. And then the long-term stuff. Building that foundation with mindfulness, the digital detox, looking after your physical health.
The power of connection, boundaries, taking action.
And knowing when professional help is the right step. It's a whole toolkit.
Definitely. Now, as we wrap up this deep dive, we want to leave you with one final thought. Something to chew on, maybe spark your own journey to less worry, more calm.
Okay, consider this. What is that one specific thing you've been overthinking? That project, that conversation you keep putting off, that decision stuck in limbo. What's the one thing you feel ready, finally, to take action on? Even a tiny step, starting today.
Just one small step.
Remember that idea. Overthinking is just the mind's way of avoiding what the heart needs to feel. So ask yourself, what does my heart truly need me to feel right now, to acknowledge? And what liberating action, however small, can flow from that clarity, that courage?
Until next time, keep diving deep, keep exploring that inner world, and keep cultivating that calm.